So it's definitely been a while since I did a whole YouTube video. And I told myself, especially this year in 2026, I need to start getting back to those. I know I post like my vlogs and stuff on here, but I definitely need to get back to doing like full on like content with like making beats, the plugins that I use, sample packs, how to's and stuff like that. So that's gonna be the goal moving forward. I'm gonna try to do these like bi-weekly, starting out, small channel, see how it goes, and then from there we'll see. I want to get back to making more melodic stuff. So I just recorded this acoustic guitar melody. So this is how it sounds. So I do get this question a lot. Now I can finally say this. Now I'm on a long form type of thing. I can kind of go through the plugins I use on my like guitar chain. So the Manley VoxBox, he mainly uses on like vocals and stuff, but I kind of got it because I started learning how to record and stuff as well. But put it on like recently, and this is recently. Started putting it on my guitar stuff, and it sounds like more crisp, I would say. But before that, I just didn't have it. The rest of it's like the chain I kind of been having. So since I'm not in like a full blown studio, I do use this noise. Pretty much just a noise gate by way of C1 gate, but you can use any noise gate would do. Basic EQ dip around the 400, 500 mark just to get out some muddiness. I recently started using this compressor. This is pretty popular compressor, UAD compressor, the LA2A Silver Compressor. It's just more of a smoother type of opto compressor. I know it has a 3-to-1 ratio, so I like to use that a lot. Honestly, I have this EQ for like more, I guess, more fine tuning if I want to mess with it. But a lot of times I kind of leave this as is. I know I have a dip in it now that I use this Norman mic. It is kind of bright side, so I try to tone it down a little bit. But I didn't use this one. But if I want to spread out, like have the guitar sound more wide, I would use a sample delay. Particularly, I didn't use it for this one. I usually do, but it's because I'll get to it in a second. I have another plugin that kind of made it more wider. Also, I pretty much use this on most of the guitar stuff to just give it more of that presence, more up close type of feel. Is this RAxx, just turning down that attenuation or this threshold on the attenuation, just makes it more present. And next, honestly, that would be it for the guitar chain. The rest is like I'll add effects like to give it that certain tone. Like let me mute one of them. I in turn bypass this thermal plugin. I use thermal to kind of give it more of an effect. I know it's more of a saturation plugin, but they kind of have like some cool presets and stuff too on there. You can do a bunch of stuff with it. But this is what it sounds like before. Now with thermal, it just gave us a little bit more movement and some width to it, like I said. But honestly, you kind of can go crazy with it. Like you can add a bunch of distortion, and especially if you got a metal guitar and stuff, you can go crazy with it. And finally, I added a little reverb, a chamber reverb from Valhalla. Definitely 100% suggest that you get VintageVerb. Really don't need any other reverb after that, honestly. And for me personally, I like to throw in all of like my guitar stuff or stuff that I'm making in Logic or melodies I'm making in Logic. Mostly guitar stuff from Logic. I move over to FL Studio. So I don't know why. I used to be strictly Logic, but I mainly cook up all my beats in FL Studio. That's just my workflow. But so moving on to FL. All right, so finally over in FL Studio, just threw in the guitar stems, and now the first thing I typically do whenever I have a guitar melody, at least I start off with like just layering some keys or see what layers, depending on what type of beat I'm going for, goes with what. Like you can go with a piano keys. Sometimes lately I've been trying to layer use stuff with synth sounds or some like experimental sounds. Sometimes it just depends on where you're trying to go, where your ear leads you. The fun part is just building layer by layer to see where your creativity goes or wherever your ear takes you. Sometimes you just throwing stuff against the wall and see what works. Sometimes that works for me. So just depends. But yeah, fun part is just going through some sounds on here, see what kind of flows or where my creativity takes me. It's hard. That's hard. I'm not an expert keyboard player. I can make it work. Did come across this like arpeggiated sound that I want to throw in there. I think that's how it goes sometimes with like finding ear candy. You kind of just accidentally come across it and like, I think that will work in this beat. You feel me? I think I've used this before, but it's definitely like dope this to have throw in there. So I do want to get back to adding a little bit more layers to this. Probably a little bit more layers than usual because it's a melodic type of beat. So you want it to be a little bit more complex sounding, add some details or like some like what is that type of sound. So I have been using this plugin by Max Shooter called Multiverse, and it's super dope as far as the sounds you can create out of it. You can probably spend hours just randomizing sounds and stuff like that. So I've been using that a little bit. So I don't want to add a compressor to it just to smooth it out a little bit. Got a little delay to it. We can give it a little background type of feel. So me personally, I do like to use vocals a lot in my melodic type of beats or something like that, but I would like to say it's not required. You can do whatever, leave it as is. That's just personally what I like to do. You can make your own vocals, kind of grab it wherever. I like the top vocals and making my own. I do make my own vocals sometimes too. Get it from different sources. I use Splice and a lot of different other resources too. So, all right. So in my search for finding like some vocals too, I did come across this like effect sound, atmospheric sound, or whatever you want to call it, that I wanted to throw in just as a like additional layer to make it sound more complicated. Nothing crazy, and it probably won't even be super noticeable, but something that you can kind of feel. And I also found like this vocal. I do want to mix it and kind of manipulate it a little bit too. This is what it sounds like with no effects on it.
Hey, it's me. I'm calling from the high. I'm calling from I'm calling from I'm calling
It sound a little wider. Put a doubler on there. Look through the vocal preset, see what it have. Sound a little brighter. So one thing I personally like to do, and I recently found out, well, I guess not too recently, but a lot of people put like the sound shifter on their master just to see what it sounds like, pitch down, play around with the pitch, get a new idea, just to see what it sounds like. Or a lot of times you might be like, it's better in its original key. But I kind of been doing this like almost every beat, every type of beat, don't matter. Cause I don't know, it just opened up my brain a little bit to more like ideas or give me a different perspective on it. So I'm gonna put sound shifter on there, see what it sound like, pitched down, pitched up, maybe see what I like. Or you can tell me down in the comments what you like. I made the right or wrong choice, Just let me know down below. I be liking the deeper tones though. Sometimes I be liking it pitched up, but I think for this one I kind of like it pitched down. Let's try a 3 though. -4 semitones might be a little bit deep, but now for the drums, I do kind of want to make it more acoustic sounding type of drums. I don't know if I want to add an 808 or kick, or I might add a switch up to it. I don't know yet, but I do want to kind of go. That's kind of been like the more modern sound of like no cap, rod wave, and some of them just more melodic artists. They've been using like more acoustic sounding drums. Some that sound different than the typical trap sounds. So now I want to get into arranging the beat. Start with an intro, add in the bass line, and kind of go from there. Boom. It's over. sometimes, a lot of times, I switch up my 808s if I had some, or switch up my kicks a little bit. Sometimes this one I'm just keeping it kind of straight through, just for example purposes. But overall, this is the part where you kind of make your beats kind of interesting, stand out, drop in and out parts like I'm doing here, add in and out sounds every time it moves. You just don't want it to sound too repetitive, and keep going throughout the whole beat. So yeah, so I do appreciate anybody that checked me out for a little bit. I will, like I said at the beginning of the video, start posting these a little bit more often, maybe like twice a month. See where it goes from there. Eventually probably would move to once a week too. I am working on another sample, or not, I wouldn't call it a sample pack, because I'm gonna have a drum kit in there, some hidden sounds, or I'm gonna call it hidden sounds, a bunch of sounds that we can use. I just call it a sound kit for now, but I'm on my way to making a sound kit, dropping that soon. Please feel free to subscribe, check me out, follow me on Instagram, TikTok. So definitely rock with me on those platforms as well. So y'all be blessed. Peace out.